Why did I start this YouTube channel and what are my plans for this channel? That is what I'm going to talk about in this video. This is going to be a pretty informal video. Just I want to talk about things, give you behind the scenes and all that stuff. So the reason why I started this channel, this is actually something that I've had in mind for several years now. And in 2021, I actually started a YouTube channel called The Network Mystery that focuses on technology. And so I talked about computers and I talk about, all that stuff. I still upload sporadically to that channel. So I will link it down in the description. And so that channel has actually become modestly successful. And so I was like, okay, I've tried uploading music related videos to that channel and they don't perform well because all those viewers are pretty much interested in technology. And so I wanted to start this, and I've had this idea for, like I said, a couple of years, and I wanted to just start something where I can talk about music and I can talk about sort of my field of expertise and have it be a very organic discussion that is very relatable to the viewer. And so I was very inspired by a channel called Cedarville Music. And so this guy is a classical pianist and a piano professor at Cedarville College. And so he runs this YouTube channel called Cedarville Music. And I discovered his channel a couple of years ago, and I was really, really inspired by it because it was just him talking to the camera. And he talks about, pianistic things. He talks about, the way of the music industry, and he talks about all of that stuff. And it's so engaging to me. That's the most engaging type of content for me personally. And so I was like, okay, this is super inspiring and I want to do something similar. And so that is exactly what I'm doing, and just talking to the camera. Now, as far as my future plans for this channel, this channel is still so small and just at its early stages that, I don't have any sort of concrete plan like in 10 years how this channel is going to look. But I do have a video list, of all the videos that I want to do. And so there are a number of videos on that list that are actually not even related to music that I want to talk about, because I think it's important to talk about one core subject on a channel, but I have a lot of things that I do want to talk about that are not related to music. I do a lot of client video editing. I do video editing for churches and for production companies and corporations and nonprofits and all that stuff. And so I want to talk about video editing, and that's something else that's really, really interesting. Totally not music at all, but also related in a lot of ways to performing music and composing music and all of that. And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, my thoughts on convenience, because I've talked about convenience a number of times on this channel. And I think that's just something that we often forget about. Like, what does it even mean for something to be convenient? And at what point can you sort of say, you know what, I'm fine with something being inconvenient? So I think that's something that I definitely want to talk about. That does obviously tie a lot into, consumerism. And I know this is by no means a financial channel, and it will never be. I don't want this to be. But that is something that I do want to talk about, because I know an alarming number of people who will just go out and buy things for seemingly no reason, and then they will just put it all on a credit card or a buy now, pay later. And, it sounds like a horrible lifestyle to me to do that. And it's just, they don't need any of that. It's all stuff that they want. Has no practical use. It's just they're, even sometimes making, excuses to get, thousands of dollars worth of stuff. And it's just like, okay, this is not a good way, in my opinion. This is not a good way to do it. So I want to talk about that. And that also ties into practicality, so like, at what point can you sacrifice convenience? you know, and at what point can something still be a practical tool? You know, for example, the workstation behind me is an HP workstation that is, I think, 12 years old now. And I got it for $85. And that is the machine that I use for the majority of all my video editing. Everything is on that workstation behind me. And so, like, at what point can you sacrifice something it's not a modern system at all? And I think that's something that's really, really important to talk about. And it's, you know, also a very expandable system, and it has all these perks that most consumer computer hardware doesn't have. And so I talk a lot about that on my Network Mystery channel if you want to check that out. But that's one example. Another example is, at what point, can you perform music on really, really bad instruments? And the answer to that is yes, you can. And there's an excellent album by George Benson called the Casa Caribe Club, live at the Casa Caribe Club, 1973. And it is it's a quartet, and Mickey Tucker is the pianist on it. And he just plays this piano. It sounds like it's just an absolutely atrocious piano. I mean, it's out of tune. It sounds like it's an upright piano, just like one of those old spinets. And it just sounds like it was an absolute, like, miserable experience to play that piano. And yet his solos are just so absolutely amazing and unreal. I mean, that album is such an inspiration for me, because whenever I play a bad instrument, it's like I always remember that album and how Mickey Tucker can do all these ridiculous runs and make it sound like he's playing on a perfectly good, Steinway Model D piano, even though he's playing on this awful upright. So that's another thing. And also with keyboards, can you play a, an $100 keyboard? That's something that I want to talk about as well. So all these things definitely tie into each other, relate to music and relate to non-music and all that. So those are my, concrete plans as of the recording of this video for this channel. So this channel, I have videos up scheduled to be uploaded every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:00 a.m. And so you can, keep an eye out for those, and I set them to be in the morning so that I have, there's a whole day that of potential for people to see it and watch it. So I think that's a good strategy. So keep an eye out for those. And again, please subscribe to this channel. I really hope you enjoy these videos. And if you do, please like them and share them and all of that. So anyway, I just thought I would give an introduction to this channel and sort of why I started it and my future plans.